The global salmon production industry produces 3.5 million tons of salmon each year. 70 to 80% of that is farmed salmon. It was worth $17 billion in 2023. A lot of people claim that you shouldn't be eating farmed salmon. The wild salmon is much better for you. It contains less toxin. It's healthier for you. But is this really true? In this program, we're going to have a close look at wild salmon and farmed salmon and see what the real differences are. So what is wild salmon and farmed salmon? Well, you might be thinking that wild salmon is a fish that swims in the ocean and at some point we harvest it, and that man has no real impact on how it grows. That's not entirely correct. Wild salmon spends their time in the ocean, but when they're mature, they actually come up rivers along the coast to spawn. Those eggs develop in our rivers, and once they're large enough, they swim back to the ocean. And that's where most of their growth happens. But there's a small detail most people forget about. Our wild salmon stocks have been coming down. So what many countries are doing is that they're actually growing baby salmon in hatcheries. They grow them up to a certain size and then they let them go in these rivers. Much of the wild salmon that we harvest these days is actually partly farmed. So what is farmed salmon? Well, the process is somewhat similar. We get salmon eggs and we produce baby salmon in hatcheries. We grow them up to a certain size, and when they're ready for the ocean, we put them into large pens. These are netted areas so that the salmon can live in the ocean, but they can't get away from us. We control where they are. In those pens, the farmed salmon do get some natural food because these ocean currents are flowing past the nets all the time. But a lot of their food is supplied by the farmer. A lot of people like to compare wild salmon to farmed salmon, but there's an important thing you have to remember about any of these comparisons. The species of fish in those two groups is different. Wild salmon consists mostly of sockeye, humpback, chum, and chinook. Farm salmon is mostly Atlantic salmon. So when we do comparisons between these two groups, we're not only comparing the method of producing them, but we're also comparing the genetic differences between those types of fish. So let's first have a look at the health benefits. Fish are a great source of proteins and vitamins and minerals, and both types of fish have those. The reason most people like to eat salmon is for their fatty acid content. They contain a lot of omega-3s and omega-6s, and those are important for humans to get in our diet. If you're familiar with omega-6 and omega-3, you'll know that we can get that from other types of meat, cows, pigs, and chicken, and we can also get it from plant-based sources. So why is it important that we eat these fish? Let's first talk about omega-3. This is the important fatty acid that we need more of. And in most conversations, we just talk about omega-3. But omega-3 is actually a class of compounds. There are several different types of fatty acids that are omega-3. And I'm going to talk about 3 different ones here. The first one is alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA. Now this one you can get from a lot of different food sources, including plants. The problem with ALA is that our bodies can't actually use it. ALA is not biologically active. So what our bodies do is that it takes ALA and converts it to 2 other omega-3 known as EPA and DHA. Now what's the difference between all of these? Well, the number of carbons in those molecules changes. ALA has 18 carbons, EPA has 20 carbons, and DHA has 22 carbons. That is more chemistry than you really want to know. The important thing is that ALA can't be used by our bodies directly. It has to first convert it to the other 2 fatty acids, and then we can use them. Now, if you eat ALA, our bodies can convert it, but that process is really inefficient. Only about 1 to 10% of the ALA that we eat actually gets converted. The rest comes out of our body as waste. What that means is that if you get your omega-3s and the other two forms of fatty acids, you don't have to convert them. You already get high amounts of the omega-3 your body really can use. It turns out that fish, and particularly salmon, is one of the best sources of those two types of omega-3s. That's why salmon is so important. Now, there's a lot of discussion and research about how much omega-6 do we need and how much omega-3 do we need, and I'm not going to go into the details of those in this video. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, have a look at my article on Substack, and I'll put a link to it in the description. The bottom line is that we need more omega-3, and for many of us in developed countries, we get enough omega-6. It's the omega-3 that is important. All right, so let's ask the important question. Which type of salmon has more omega-3s, wild or farm? Well, it turns out that they have about the same amount. It depends a bit on how you want to measure this, but the bottom line is that they're almost the same. The amount of omega-3 they actually have in their bodies depends very much on their food source. Fish are like humans. They can't make omega-3s. They have to get it from their diet. And depending on what they're eating will determine how much omega-3s they have. But the differences between wild and farmed are not large enough to make you choose one or the other. Since wild is generally more expensive, you're better off buying farmed and buying a little bit more. And that will give you more omega-3s. Is dye added to salmon? I see these claims all over the place. In fact, in one video I looked at, the person claimed that there's a dye that's made from petrochemicals and it's injected into the salmon, making them toxic. That's just a load of BS. When you see stuff like that, don't listen to anything in the video. The red color in salmon comes from a chemical called astaxanthin. Now, don't get scared off by the fact that it's a chemical. This is actually a really important chemical for the health of the fish and your own health. Our bodies can't make it, and we have to get it in our diet. It's one of the carotenoids. You might know those as being healthy compounds that we get from vegetables, particularly things like carrots and tomatoes. It's an antioxidant. Antioxidants are important for getting rid of toxic chemicals in our body. We need astaxanthin in our diets, and salmon is a good place to get it. Unofficially, this compound is called the super vitamin E, or the king of antioxidants. It is not a vitamin E, as so many people claim, but it is as important as vitamin E to your diet. And both compounds do similar things in our bodies, except that astaxanthin is more than 500 times more effective than vitamin E. That's how important it is to us. Now, in the wild, salmon get this from the food that they eat. Farm salmon may not get enough because we do tend to give them more plant-based food. So some fish farmers will add it to their diet. It makes the fish healthier and it produces a healthier food product. In the process, the fish do get a bit pinker. In fact, this same compound is what makes flamingos pink. They eat certain crustaceans and plankton, and they're getting it in their diet and makes them pink. If we take those flamingos and change their diet so they're not getting it in their diet, they start going white. This idea that we're injecting dyes into salmon to make them pink so that you'll buy them is just not true. What about toxic chemicals? Do farmed salmons have higher levels than wild? Well, this is a message you'll see a lot on the internet. And it stems from the fact that in 2004, a study reported that farmed salmon had higher toxic levels of these chemicals than wild salmon. The anti-farmed salmon group loves this study because it shows that we should all be eating wild salmon instead of farm. But after the research was published, several other scientists analyzed the way they did their analysis and their calculations, and they found flaws in the study. It doesn't actually prove that wild salmon is any better for you. Since then, there have been a number of other studies. In 2017, one study reported that wild salmon had higher levels of persistent organic pollutants and mercury than farmed salmon. Another study in 2020 found the concentrations of dioxins and dioxin-like PCBs, mercury, and arsenic were 3 times higher in wild fish compared to farmed fish. But all of these levels were way below the EU maximums for fish. So both types are perfectly safe. Another study in 2022 looking at other compounds found similar results. A number of organizations, including the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, Health Canada, and the European Food Safety Authority, have all come to the same conclusion. Both types of salmon are perfectly fine to eat. The amount of contamination in them is extremely low and is not of concern. So which one's better, farmed or wild? As far as contamination goes, well, it doesn't really matter. They're about the same. Should we allow salmon to be farmed? There's clearly people on both sides of this debate, and much of the debate centers around political issues, about personal interests, and a concern for the environment. I'm not going to get into these in this program, but I do want to highlight one interesting situation. The Canadian government decided that they were going to outlaw these pens that grow salmon in the ocean. And that was going to happen by 2025. When they announced this, there were 2 different indigenous groups that traveled to Ottawa, our capital, to voice their opinion. One group celebrated the decision. Finally, we're getting rid of farmed salmon. It's harming our environment. We don't want it. Get rid of it. On the same day, a different indigenous group also made their voices heard. We want the government to keep salmon farming. It's an important industry. It gives us a livelihood. It does no harm to the environment. Now, based on the news video that I watched, neither side made any scientific claims for their position. Their arguments were purely selfish and politically motivated. As it turns out, our government backed away from the decision, and they've now delayed the removal of these pens until 2029. We've kind of a gutless government, and they're not going to make proper decisions based on what the science says. If these were really that bad for the environment, they should be taken out. And if they're not bad for the environment, they should be left in. It's as simple as that. Here are a number of other salmon myths. It takes 5 kilos of fresh caught fish to grow 1 kilo of farmed salmon. That's not true. We do harvest fish and feed it to the salmon we're growing, and salmon uses more of that harvested fish than other types of fish. In fact, it takes about 1.7 kilos to grow 1 kilo of salmon. When we look at other farmed fish, it only takes about half a kilo. Most of the fish products that are fed to farmed salmon are leftover material from the fishing industry. The guts and the head and so on. But some of it is fresh caught. Myth number 2, farmed fish get their color from injected dye. I've already dealt with that. That's just simply not true. But it comes up all the time in discussion. Farmed salmon are pumped full of antibiotics. That again is a statement that's not true. While the young fish are in hatcheries, they may be given some antibiotics to make them healthy. But for the most part, once they're in the ocean and growing, they're not given antibiotics. Their health is managed through other means. And the methods used are directed by government. Myth number 4. Hormones are used to make these fish grow faster. That's not true. Now this one's really strange. Myth number 5. Farmed salmon ends up with more chicken fat than a chicken. Can't believe some of the stupid things people say. Myth number 6. When I read this one, I thought this can't possibly be true, but it sort of is. A 200-gram serving of salmon has more fat than a Big Mac and fries. Well, it turns out that they have about equal amounts of fat. Experts have commented that the fat in salmon is better than the fat in a Big Mac. But to be honest, I could not find any analysis that actually showed this, nor are any of the comments that I found referenced. So to be honest, I'm not really sure which one is better for you. If you find any useful information, please put it in a description. So, I've analyzed the 2 types of salmon. From a health perspective, they're about the same. From a contamination perspective, they're about the same. The one difference between the 2 is that farmed salmon tends to be fattier. They're not swimming quite as much as the wild salmon. They kind of have a cushy life in these nets, and so they put on a little bit more fat. Now, if you're trying to reduce your fat intake, that may be one reason to choose between the two. But more fat generally means more omega-3, so that fat is actually healthy for us. I really can't find a good reason to choose one over the other. Now, farm salmon is generally less expensive, so that might be a good reason. On a personal level, I actually prefer a salmon that's not so fatty. I like them a bit drier. And in fact, the best salmon that I've ever cooked was a frozen salmon that was wild caught. It had very low fat content, and I like the taste better. Unfortunately, I can't find it in any of the stores around here anymore, so I'm now back to using fresh salmon. The bottom line is it really doesn't matter which one you choose. It is important that you eat salmon once a week. It's a very healthy food. You can find Reality Time on YouTube, Substack, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I'll put links to these and our social pages in the description below. If you're interested in gardening, check out my YouTube channel called Garden Fundamentals or my blog called Garden Myths. Let the truth shine into your life.